Have you ever begged God to speak to you? Loudly. Like, God, just show me a sign. Thunder, lightning. Something. Well, God spoke to Elijah like that. He spoke to him through an earthquake, a fire, a mighty wind, a still small voice. Well, let me explain. Elijah once felt pretty low. He was one of God's boldest prophets. He had just faced off with 450 prophets of Baal, and God didn't even need a word from Elijah. Just watch him throw that whole I am thing at them. God shut their mouths. Then fire came down from heaven, burned up the sacrifice, even their water. It was a high moment of victory. But then Queen Jezebel threatened his life. And just like that, Elijah ran. He ran into the wilderness. He was afraid. Afraid of Jezebel, yes, but also depressed, lonely, defeated. He even said, "Lord, take my life." You can almost picture it. Elijah sitting there thinking, this is it. I'm all alone. God didn't protect me. My life is over. That's how low he felt. But God didn't scold him. He understood. And instead of leaving him there, God led Elijah to Mount Horeb, the mountain of God, and there God told Elijah, "Stand on the mountain, for the Lord is about to pass by." Now, imagine this. First came a mighty wind, fierce, tearing through rocks and trees. Surely, God must be in that power, right? Nope. God wasn't in the wind. Then came an earthquake. The mountain shook violently, but God wasn't in the earthquake either. After that, fire, flames, roaring, heat. Still, God wasn't in the fire. And then silence, a gentle whisper, a still small voice. And that's where God was. Let that sink in. The all-powerful miracle-working, storm-splitting God didn't come to Elijah in a display of force. He came in a whisper. Why? Because God knew Elijah was tired, broken. He didn't need a show. He needed comfort. And I wonder if maybe you're like Elijah. Maybe you've been running for a long time. Maybe life's storms have beaten you up. You've lost loved ones, suffered disappointments, watched dreams fall apart. Maybe you feel like you're all alone, that God has forgotten you, that this pain will never end. If so, please hear this. God isn't in the big, loud things. He's also in the small, quiet moments. He's in the sunrise that peeks through the clouds, the raindrop that lands on your thirsty lips, the friend who holds your hand, the stranger who smiles at you, the whisper of forgiveness on your lips, the second chance at the corner of your eye. God is there. In the story of Elijah, God didn't speak in the mighty wind because that would blow Elijah away. He didn't speak in the earthquake because that would shake Elijah's faith. He didn't speak in the fire because that would burn Elijah out. God spoke in a whisper because that's what Elijah needed. A reminder that even when life shakes us up, even when our world feels like it's falling apart, even when we feel alone, God is close. He sees us, He cares, and He wants to help. Maybe right now you're waiting for a dramatic answer, a sudden burst of joy, a clear path forward. Well, here's another lesson from Elijah's story. God didn't give him everything right then. Sure, Elijah heard God's whisper, but its full meaning didn't hit him till later. See, when God spoke, Elijah was still on the mountain, but later, after spending time with God, after resting, after calming down, Elijah started to realize what God wanted him to do next. He gathered 100 prophets, trained them, visited new places, met new people, and did even greater miracles than before. Friends, sometimes we get stuck on wanting God to give us every detail, every answer right now. But what if part of our healing, part of our growth, Part of our strength comes from trusting that God will guide us, not always lead us. When we look back, we can see His hand in our lives, but in the moment, we have to choose to step out, to leap forward, to trust that He'll catch us, because He did for Elijah. So, if you're feeling low, remember, God is near. Look for Him in the little things, in the soft moments, in the gentle touches, and when you hear His whisper, even if it's hard to understand, even if you can't see the whole path, step out in faith, trust the God who whispers, the God who heals, the God who loves you.